Israel just loved. You know, that's the kind of stuff we're not supposed to talk about. Like when Jimmy Carter said that it's apartheid over there in the Middle East, everybody got so mad, but Israel worked with the apartheid regime, including on race-specific bioweapons.
Yeah, Israel is an apartheid regime every bit as much as South Africa was, and every bit as much as America was in the time of the version of apartheid. And it's not only an apartheid state in Israel regarding Israelis and the Palestinians. It's an apartheid regime, even between different levels of Israelis and Jewish people. The way they treat black Jews from Ethiopia in Israel is little better than vermin.
David Icke, amazing, amazing. We're out of time. Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As we're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
They have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at PrisonPlanet.tv. Hi folks, this is Alex Jones, and I want to tell you about the Silver Lungs generator. Now you can produce pure and endless colloidal silver and deliver the solution directly into the bloodstream by breathing the solution through the lungs. The respiratory system is the first line of defense for airborne pathogens and viruses. The Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced nano-silver solutions and also delivers the silver nanoparticles instantly into the bloodstream. With continued legislation threatening the sale of nano-silver products, you can now produce pure and endless colloidal silver with the Silver Lungs generator. Very easy to follow step-by-step instructions are provided, making production fast and simple. Go to www.silverlungs.com today and learn more about the breakthrough technology of the Silver Lungs generator. That's www.silverlungs.com. A very wealthy U.S. citizen is predicting that in 2011, we will witness the most important day in America in more than 50 years. He says it will change everything about our lives. The way you shop, travel, invest, educate your children, and even how you take care of your health and your own family. Now, this man has made some outrageous predictions over the years. The crazy part is, he's usually right. You see, he predicted the collapse of GM, Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, and America's biggest mall owner, General Growth Properties. In fact, Barron's called his work a dire prophecy. Recently, he created a video, which you can watch online for free, detailing his biggest and most important prediction yet. And it's a real eye-opener. I can't stress this enough. You should at least watch this free video online today. He explains everything you need to know, including simple steps you can take to protect yourself. You can find the video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com. Watch the free video at www.endofamerica3.com. That's endofamerica3.com.
From his Central Texas Command Center, deep behind enemy lines, the information war continues. It's Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Okay, we've had some real troopers that have been holding patiently. We're going to get into some financial news coming up at the bottom of the hour and a bunch of other important news I haven't gotten to yet, but I do want to hear from callers. There is, of course, a giant push going to restrict the First Amendment. The most brazen I've ever seen in the U.S. calls for the fairness doctrine. That's an Orwellian term. It's very unfair. No more free speech on talk radio or TV. Right as the FCC, you notice, announces jurisdiction over the Internet. A month ago, right as the cybersecurity systems go online, right as Obama proposes Internet IDs tracking you. I mean, it's all happening. And big calls for gun registration, assault weapons bans. It's on. And if they keep having easily suggestible mind control wind-up zombies like this latest loon shooting Congress people, you know, the question is, will they start enacting laws against the Second Amendment as an attempt to protect themselves. And, of course, we wrote the story, Matt Ryan did, at Infowars.com. It's also going up on PrisonPlanet.com. Liberal media was already prepared for violence in Tucson. Editor's note from Alex Jones. What we have here is a clear case of a self-fulfilling prophecy. The national and local media knew exactly what they were doing. They hyped to a pool on national and local television of 300 million Americans over and over again that a deranged Tea Partier is going to gun politicians down. Then a highly suggestible paranoid schizophrenic acts on the hype, and the media instantly blames the Tea Party. If they continue to hype this, it will cause more deranged copycats to act. And that's the issue. What did they do back in the 60s and 70s when we had some real terrorism in this country carried out by communists? Of course, I call it real. A lot of it was actually grassroots. Some of it was like Patty Hearst and others. Turned out she was FBI. That was all staged. But you ignore and don't play up real terror or real events. I mean, it's on the news, and then that's it. And okay, let's not milk this. Now, though, when they stage an event, they hype it. Like I said last week, looks like these firecracker attacks were probably a grassroots loon. In Maryland, and the Homeland Security, the governor, Napolitano, both the governor of Maryland and Napolitano head of Homeland Security. You know, notice they're playing that down. That's because generally real attacks from our research are played down. But when they have engineered something like the underwear bomber or that nutcase psychiatrist out at Fort Hood, which we know was engineered, that's hyped to the nines. So let's go back to your phone calls here. Chuck, Ed, Jonathan, Joey, Mike, and others. Chuck in North Carolina, you're on the air.
Hey, Alex, how you doing?
Good.
I think one of the biggest stories, I don't think I've heard you cover it today, is last night on Glenn Beck's show, he decided to say, he told us that 9/11 truthers are going to be dangerous. He put it at the top of the list. Then he turned around to say that I'm not saying they're dangerous, but obviously that's what this whole thing is going to come back to. I think tonight we'll see Obama talk about how it's a conspiracy thing. The left wing and the right wing will both turn away from blaming each other, and it's going to come back to trying to make this guy out to be a truther.
No, I agree. In fact, that's what I've seen. Let's all come together, because they couldn't blame Limbaugh and others successfully. Let's all come together against the truthers, because now one of his anonymous friends says that in passing he didn't believe the official story. Well, we have a New York Times Angus and Reid poll where 83% don't believe the official story. Other polls are 54, 55, 66. You know, they run the gamut. So they had an Australian poll where 70-plus, was it 76% when the poll closed, believed inside job. So see, 9/11 people, they murdered children. Meanwhile, the father and mother are saying, don't use this for political control. We don't like what the TSA is doing. Let's not have America lose more liberties like we did after 9/11. But I don't watch Glenn Beck. I did see him a few months ago because, again, people tell us about it, so we went and pulled it up on YouTube, say the government is getting ready to stage a new Oklahoma City to blame domestic groups. And they've tried now, whether this was staged or not, to blame it on Palin and Limbaugh. And I've seen them try to blame it on Beck. And Fox News from Saturday, their tack was, oh, no, it's not the left wing or right wing. This guy was a conspiracy theorist before we heard the 9/11 stuff. So they've been desperately interviewing the hundreds of classmates from college. You know, was there 9/11? Was there 9/11? And Beck has always said, 9/11 truth is going to attack. I mean, I saw him years ago say we need to use the Army against them. Why are they so scared of 9/11 truth? So Andrew Napolitano, his guest host, his fill-in host, and has the top-rated show on Business Network, he said he doesn't buy the official story. Geraldo Rivera has now said that. I mean, it's just look at the facts. I got the cops saying, get back, we're going to blow up Building 7. The cops were told they were going to blow it up. They blow up a 47-story building. I can't ignore it. 6 of the 10 commissioners say it's a fraud. The evidence goes on and on and on and on. And Homeland Security admits 95% of the funding is for domestic groups, not Muslim-related. Even if you believe the Muslims did it all by themselves, which is ridiculous, It doesn't matter. Homeland Security is set up for the American people. And they've been gearing up for these domestic actions. And they've got mind control just via television down to such a science. They know there's X many violent paranoid schizophrenics in a population. They know there's X number on serotonin reuptake inhibitors that make them very, very suggestible. And they know they start hyping, crosshairs are on you, Congresswoman Giffords. Is somebody going to kill you? I heard you're getting death threats. Are they going to kill you any time now? Meanwhile, this guy's making death threats and doesn't get in trouble. Meanwhile, his parents know he's got a voodoo shrine in the backyard. He's I mean, come on. Come on. I mean, look, the banks are imploding the economy. We're going into world government. They're taking our liberties. They're getting ready to start censoring free speech. And this stuff comes right on time. Is it, don't let a good crisis go to waste, like Rahm Emanuel said? Look, I started making a film about Beck, this Trojan horse, and others have picked up on that term and are now making a Trojan horse film. I've seen a trailer for it. And I decided to make it instead just about the overall neocons and how they operate with the liberals and how the thing's all interlocking. And I get so busy doing other interviews and radio and TV, you notice I hardly even make films these days. I just do interview after interview and put them on prisonplanet.tv, which is also highly effective. I said I'd take your calls. I don't want to get off into Beck. I know that when the Joe Stack guy flew his plane into the building, reportedly, Beck was saying 9/11 truther. I mean, he really, really... When the people learn the government's a lie, when they learn there's all this fraud, people went after Hitler. People went after Ceausescu. People went after Stalin and Lenin. I mean, you know, that's going to happen. I'm not even saying it's good. But the issue here is we're in crazy times and stuff's going to get crazy. Ed in Florida, you're on the air.
Alex, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
My battery's dying, so I'll be quick. First of all, I love your show, long-time listener. I had something happen to me a couple weeks, about a month ago. I recorded the show with Jesse Ventura, the FEMA cams. I went to play it back to my son-in-law, and it was off my DVR, which I own, legally recorded, never erased it. I called technical support at DirecTV. They told me, yes, they had the technology, but they would never erase it. Now I'm finding all these people had this erased.
Look, I'm not allowed to talk about it, but I was sent the internal documents with the order, with Time Warner threatening DVR companies, which all wire into your system unless it's a satellite and you don't have the phone line plugged in. And yes, they are internally now not just ordering the police state episode, but the company I was sent internal stuff on. But again, I can't show it because this is one of the lead people involved that sent it to us, but it's all the documents. They are ordering the entire show erased.
Okay, Alex, to keep up the good work, I love eFoods Direct. I had my first order a month ago. You still there?
Yes, I am.
Thank you very much. My phone's beeping. I'll hang up.
Yeah, thank you, Ed. Yeah, no, it's gone from everybody noticing that show never re-aired and all the others did to now other shows not being re-aired or not aired as much as the other programs that aren't as hard-hitting. And now I've seen the direct order to delete last season and this season because they're re-airing last season, this season, and now they're not airing any of them as much, or they're taking a few ones that are seen as more kooky, like the Mind Control, that aren't as strong. I mean, folks, let me tell you, that night when that show aired, because I hadn't seen the whole episode, I'd seen pieces of it when I was out in California, I called Ventura and said, congratulations, I can't believe you got that on air.